And people always say, Ken, how can you be Polish with a name like Ken Adams? I changed the name. No, not Adamski. I changed the first name. I didn't like the name they gave me when I was born. See, somebody told my father when I was born, it's Polish tradition to name me after his father. So for 5 years, he called me Dada. And growing up in a Polish family was a lot of fun. It really was. When I was a kid, every Sunday my mother put me on the floor. And she would say, come on, walk to Grandma, walk to Grandma. My grandmother lived in Poland. And they always say to Polish people, we get things backwards. That's not true. I'm Polish. I don't get anything backwards. My father does. He would get the language mixed up, English to Polish, Polish to English. I'll never forget one time as a child, my father sent me to the lumber yard for some 4x2s. You're laughing, I went. I said, mister, give me some of those 4x2s. The guy says, get the hell out of here. All we have are 2x4s. I said, I better go home and ask my father. I went home and said, Pop, all he has are 2x4s. My father's smart. He said, good, you buy them, we'll turn them around. And yes, I now make my home down here, by the way, in Florida. That's really weird, because you know, my parents, they still live in New York. They're retired, and I moved here. Now, if that's not Polish, I don't know what the hell is. When my family came over from Poland, they did not have a lot of money, so they settled in Brooklyn, New York, in a one-room apartment, a studio. Which meant when I was born, we all slept in one room. Which meant every time my parents wanted to have sex, they made me look out the window. Yes, one night they were having sex. I was looking out the window. I said, Ma. She says, what? I said, the neighbors next door, they're having sex too. She says, how do you know that? I said, because their kid is staring at me. And let me tell you something, my friends, I still make my home, I say, you know, I'm living in Florida now, but I still consider New York my home. I was born and raised there. It's never out of your blood. People come up to me on cruise ships, how do you live in New York? Attitude. We don't care, we're laid back. Typical New Yorker, nothing bothers us. No, that's right. That's the guy walking down the block, and out of the ground, a manhole cover will explode. Boom. And a typical New Yorker will stand there and go, heads. And remember this, my friends, where else in New York City? You pay $1.50, get on the subway at rush hour, and get a complete physical examination. And I'm proud to do what I do for a living, because I have to tell you people something. When I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, I went to the High School of Performing Arts in New York City, yes, to show Fame. Now, when I went there, and you're a kid from Brooklyn, that doesn't get too good with the other guys. They think you're a little funny to begin with. And I never had taken ballet before, and when you have to graduate in the acting department of performing arts, you must take ballet. Now, can you picture me taking ballet? For 4 years. I will never forget, ladies and gentlemen, my first day of ballet class in the High School of Performing Arts. They gave me a pair of leotards to put on. Now, for people, whether you're male or female, who never saw leotards on a man before or a ballet dancer, before a man puts on leotards, he must wear a thing called a dancing belt. Now, if you've never seen a dancing belt for a man, I don't want to tell you how small it is, that it must keep your boys in place. I tried putting this on. How can I explain it? It was like Dolly Parton trying to get into a training bra. I get to the bar, the teacher says, first position, and plie down. And I went down wearing this dancing belt. And she said, come up when you're ready. I was there for 3 days. And if that wasn't bad enough, I thought that was bad when she told me to come up. I don't want to tell you the pain, but now I know why they call that Christmas ballet the Nutcracker.